I have a passion for women in general. I believe greatness comes from women. For us to be great as Zimbabwe, it's because we've got a healthy. So for us to have a healthy nation, for us to have a prosperous nation, we need to have a healthy woman. And to get a healthy woman, a woman needs to understand who they are and what they're all about. All right, so I was asked to talk about gynecological conditions, and it was a very difficult thing to do. Why? Because it's like you're being asked to summarize a 10,000 book in paragraphs. Yes, you're being asked from a book that has got 10,000 pages to write a summary in a paragraph. So it was a bit difficult. So I figured for me to try and make sense of it, let me go to the background or to the primary level of what it's all about for us to get to how you then end up with gynecological conditions. So the basis lies with hormones, all right? So a hormone is a chemical messenger that is made from a group of cells or from an organ of the body that is passed via the blood to a different organ, and then it gives its effects on the organ that it's being sent to. So for example, I think one of the most common hormones that is talked about, which people don't actually realize is a hormone, is insulin. So insulin is a hormone that is made by an organ in the body, not the pancreas. The pancreas has got various cells that makes various things, but among them, you've got the beta cells which make insulin. When insulin has been made, it is transferred or transported to the liver where it acts. When you eat up food, I can see Mama is eating some cake, it's sugar. When you eat that sugar, it's converted to glucose. So it's circulated in the body as glucose. But when it gets to the liver, there are only certain levels of glucose that allow function in the body. When it gets high, it causes damage. When it gets low, it causes problems. So it's got to be maintained at a certain level. So the role of insulin is when the liver picks out that the glucose levels are high after a meal, insulin comes out, converts that glucose into a component called glycogen, which is then stored. So this is just an example of hormones. But the hormones we're here to talk about this afternoon are three hormones: progesterone, estrogen, and testosterone. Those are the three hormones that you will find in every woman that regulates a woman to be a woman. Okay? So I'll start with progesterone, or also progesterone. This is the chemical formula right up in that corner for those who are interested in chemistry. It's a component that is made by the ovaries. We'll talk about the ovary a little bit later. And its main role is just to maintain a pregnancy. So it preps the body, or the female body, for pregnancy. That's the major role of progesterone. When the levels are low in your body, however, it affects how your body works, because its effect on the uterus, so it primes it up for a pregnancy. If it's very low, it fails to prime up for that pregnancy. So it will cause irregular bleeding. Where you're not supposed to be having a menstrual period, you find you're having a period. Or during your period, your normal period, it becomes heavier than what it's supposed to be, or longer than what it's supposed to be. If you do fall pregnant and your estrogen or your progesterone levels are low, it will also lead to pregnancy failure, where the pregnancy just goes. I know we've heard of these stories of women, I tell me by 3 months, I tell me by 2 months, I tell me by 4 months. Majority of the times it's because their progesterone levels are generally low. Or it may pass the stage where it's a miscarriage and it goes on to what we call a preterm labor. So instead of getting to the 9 months where you're supposed to, around 7 months, the uterus can't hold the baby anymore. It gets into labor and you deliver a baby before their term. So progesterone mostly is associated with issues that have to do with pregnancy and maintaining or sustenance of a pregnancy.